is usually the first. Alright, restream's got us. Twitch doesn't have us yet. Oh, Twitch is twitching. Twitch, you got me? It says live and it says offline at the same time. YouTube Studios thinks I'm live, okay. Twitch doesn't seem to have me yet. What's going on? Restream says we're on Twitch. And Twitch got us. Excellent. Alright. Looks like we're going. Welcome to Code Hangout number 209. We missed last week. I was traveling. I don't like to miss, but I missed. So today I'm working a little bit on a feature for future white labeling of the site, but specifically for Project 9x9. So they have like they're going to have an interface to show a bunch of puzzles, and then when you click, it opens up a Sudoku pad, but it's still on their site because it's opening this in a frame, and then they'll overlay some stuff like the video and some things, and you can go back. And what I'm wanting to do is to see if I can communicate between the puzzle in here and the site outside. And I have a little setup here. I have basically two domains, domain 1 and domain 2. Excuse me. And one has an iframe that domain 1 outer. And in fact, maybe that's the wrong file. No. This. So outer would be domain 1 here, right? And then inner would be domain 2. So I think for now, I'm going to assume the browser sees these as two different domains. And apparently using this, I can get them to communicate cross-site. So for example, why does the outer here? Did I not save this? Yeah. And so if I can send a message from outer. Wait, outer to inner. Yeah, so inner says message received, right? I was going to just improve this a little bit just for sake of completeness, this little test harness. And then I'm going to look into integrating some code into my local version of the puzzle of SudokuPad. And then we'll take it from there. So first thing I want to do is I want to add a little, so we have the frame, we have the button. So maybe under the button, I want to have a little div, and I'm just going to call it ID log, right? And that'll be our output, like that. And maybe we'll do something like hash log border x solid black. We'll do that on both, just so we can see this a little bit more easily. Okay, and we'll say we'll do something like this. Right, let's say 5 rem overflow y scroll. Right. So it's interesting that disable cache seems to wait. Maybe I didn't save both. Yeah, here we go. So now what I want to do is when we receive something, I want to put it into this log. So I'm gonna, there's a bunch of shared code. I might actually want to put that in a separate file in a second here. Excuse me, I have an itchy nose. So instead of just putting it into the console, we actually want to put it into this log thing. So we're gonna have a little function, log message, boom. Right, and it'll be this. And I feel like we almost wanna, this prefix, I almost want to define it somewhere here. Because, well, no. No. Okay, so we'll just say document dot query selector hash log query. I feel like there's something missing here. Dot text content plus equals just message and line break, right? And if I do the same thing down here, right there, and do this with inner, and then here, instead of... Actually, you know what? We're just gonna log the message directly like that. And then here, we're just gonna do this. Log message. And just test. Message event data. Message, and we'll maybe do something like message from event.origin, and then it'll just be event.data. Something like that, right? And then we should be able to do the same thing here, but with outer. Place that, and instead of this, we just do a log message. And that should work. Okay. And we'll probably want to make the frame wider. Where's the frame? So here we'll probably want to do iframe width 90%, something like that. If I do it 100%, do we have problems with margins? I guess not. Right, 10 RAM. Nope. 20 RAM. There we go. We'll probably want to put the frame below. Like that. Right? And we'll probably want to put some sort of VR here. All right. So if I send a message here, inner from blah, 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 inner to outer. Yeah. So we're communicating back and forth. Okay. So that seems to work. Now on the same page, the frame is bigger than it needs to be. So if I make it 12, just high enough so everything fits. We have space for something underneath. We're gonna put a second frame here. And I don't think we need a diff around the iframe here. Right, that'll work just the same, yeah. And we'll do a second one, and we'll do sudoku-pad.app. No, we'll do localhost 9012 SCF, for example, right? So that loads that, and we're just gonna style the height 30 RAM, something like that, right? All right, now this we need to bring in something with some special juice, right? So let's find a puzzle with something special like this. So we kind of want to do this. All right. Nope, not here. Okay, so that's our special puzzle, but it doesn't have any special communication code at the moment. So now we're going to look into bringing that in. And I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. You know what? If we make these H3s, they don't take up quite as much space. And then we can make this, we can mark 4, and this can probably be 9. Yeah, good enough. And then this can be 20. Boom. There we go. So now we have a bit of space for our console down here. All right. So now we got to go back to not part 1, but our code for the 9x9 project. So there should be feature, let me see, chat up and running. Yes. Anything on the Discord chat? Let's make sure we're not missing anything. All right. Let's see. Feature puzzle number 9. Here we go. And here we now want to add some of that code that we had for the cross thingamajig here. And I need to figure out exactly how I'm going to integrate that. For now, I guess when we're loading a layout, we're just going to add that. Because I don't know when attach happens here. So if I do this, right, load layout should happen one time here. All right. And then here we'll do, wait a second, when does load layout get called? And load it, load layout, load layout, load layout. Wait, we have 2 load layouts. What? Oh, because I just copied that. Okay. So here we want to do something like handle or init messages. Right. So where's load layout getting called from? Just after handle init. Okay. Messaging. Makes more sense. We put that right here. All right. Okay. If I refresh that now, we should get a warn here on init messaging. And it happens after the layout is set up. And now we're gonna just bring over some of this test code, i.e. we just want to listen to messages and see what happens. All right, and we'll do this dot handle message. Yes, messaging. Let's move them both here. Okay. So if we do this, and we don't have a way of sending a message, because if I said this goes to there and this goes to there, so we need another button there now. A second button, test 2, alter to the Sudoku pad. All right, and then test 2, boom. Event iframe. So query selector. So I think we need to give these IDs now. ID equals inner, and then ID equals frame Sudoku pad. Let's call this frame inner. All right. So then instead of doing this, we'll do that. Instead of doing this, we'll do that. Right. So if I refresh that now and I say this, handle message, here we go. Okay. So far, so good. We'll have to test it with online domains though, because I don't trust Chrome to not understand somehow this is all on localhost somehow. And this obviously needs to work on various weird domain circumstances and all that. So what we're gonna do here now is we're gonna look at this stuff, right? So we'll do something like console.log message from event.origin and message data event.data, I guess. Is there anything else we care about here? Not. Might as well do this, this, and this. Let's see if there are other JavaScript message event type. What message event types are there? That might be good to know. Set the message of the okay. Channel messaging, message post message, message event, message post. Okay. Message channel, message event, port source, data origin, type. Message event. This message event type property. Maybe the AI summary will actually be useful. Who knows? Source window proxy message proxy. Okay, so let's look at these as well. So origin, source, data, last event ID. I don't think that'll be used on these ports. I mean, we can show them, but it's interesting that we can use a similar interface for cross, like for WebSockets and stuff, because we might need that later as well. Okay, origin, map source, okay, global, that's not gonna be super useful. Type message. Okay, so what we don't know for like what I don't know is if I want to restrict this by port by origin at the moment. I don't think there's any kind of like, since I'm controlling the protocol and we're not dealing with any mission critical information, I think we'll be okay. So what I can do here now is I'm going to do a little bit of a switch here. Data, right? And then case ping, right? And then to send the message back out, we'll do window parent post message hey. Now, is that something we'll see here, that it's coming from window parent? Current target. Source global. Source global. Because what I'm not sure is if we want to always, I think for now we always want to communicate to the parent frame rather than, because I don't know if I could communicate between frames and if that's useful. But we can do this. Just say Pong for now. Right. And then back in our test frame, we want a third button like that. Right. I'm already tempted to make a little function for this stuff. Handle btn. We'll do btn id. We'll do target id message. Right, and then we'll basically just do one of these things here. And this will be btn id. This will be target ID. And this will be message. Ooh. Like that. Like that. So now we can just do this. We can do test 1 frame inner. Hey. Test 2 frames to dockboard hey, and test 3 frames to dockboard bad ping. It'll save us a bunch of code, right? So now I can do this, I get that, I can do this, I get that, and I can do this, and I get a Pong. And we get a from here. Okay. So that's kind of our basic setup. And now we kind of, the question is how, when and how do we want to set this up? Because we kind of want to trigger certain things. Oh, the puzzle has started, yada, 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 right? So for example, we could do something like, we can do another button here. Get replay. Right? And then we'll just say test 4 sends the message get replay. And then when we receive a get replay message, right? So here we can also do post message, and it's just gonna do this for now. And I think I'm gonna do this. Yeah, I'm just gonna put this. But we'll try it out what happens if we send JSON through. So then this becomes this, the post message, and we can get rid of the CORS target thing here. And then here we want to just do, let us open this frame in another tab, and we'll do framework app dot get replay. Boom. Do that. Yeah. So we'll basically do this and then just see what happens, right? So if I say get replay, we get this, and if I do this and then I say get replay, we do this. And then maybe we can even say, okay, send every action, for example, and trigger that from the outside, things like that. And we could potentially also do something that goes the other direction, right? So for example, we want to have a button, we want to say restart, restart, and then test 5, restart. And maybe I'll organize these buttons a little bit differently. I think if we do that, almost want to have them like down the side. Maybe we can do this. I feel like these should be encoded, but this seems to work. And then here we don't need inner to outer. That. Right, so I do this, we get a restart message, right? Then here we'll just say on restart. We don't actually do that. Oh yeah, what comes back here? I think what comes back here is a string, right? It doesn't get stringified or decoded or whatever. So, handle message event. Okay, so let's have a quick look at this. So inside handle message, we'll do event.data. Like that. And if I do json.parse, I guess it'll crash out. I think I left something here half done. We don't do anything for a sec here. Get replay. It does automatically JSONify and stringify that. Message event data JSON. Is that automatic? So that means I can do a type of here. Oh, my nose itchy. Excuse me. I wonder what types it supports. So if I do this, it says type of data is string. Oh no, wait, because it's doing the parse. Okay, so it doesn't know for sure. So we want to always send back JSON. Hey, Chameleon. Ah, thanks. I really appreciate it. I'm working on something kind of high-tech, currently just for Project Minecraft 9, but it's basically a way of communicating with a Sudoku-pad iframe to get information out of an ongoing puzzle. So be able to say, okay, I'm gonna load Sudoku-pad in an iframe, I'm gonna overlay some stuff of my own, and I want to get notified when the puzzle starts, or when the checker triggers, or, you know, that kind of stuff. All right, so I guess we always want to send messages back as JSON. So, which means our Pong now should be something like this. And then this will be something like that. Replay. Now, if I put this in there, I think it already does the stringification. So it comes back as an object. Oh. Wait a second. No, I don't need to stringify it. Sorry, I don't need to JSON parse it. As long as I don't stringify it myself. So I can just pass JSON through after all. One sec, I'm confused. So if we get rid of this, right? And I pass in ping, I get an object back. I get an object back. The line break here isn't working. Why is the line break not working? Wait. Why is the line break here not working? Object. There should be a line break. Plus equals that. Maybe this? No. This? No. This should have a line break here. HTML line break. Do I have to do white space blah blah blah? I think I need to do white space something. Log white space CSS white space reserve normal pre. What do they mean? Secrets of white space are preserved. Lines are only broken new line characters in the source. New line characters in the source are handled the same as other white space. So white space free reserve. Oh, wrong. So I do this. There we go. Why do we get? Oh, because we have a bunch of garbage in here. Let me make a quick style sheet for these. Frame style CSS. Does CSS include this as HTML or CSS? Oh my god, I don't freaking that. Thank you. That's all I wanted to know. Frame style. If we do this, Okay. And we should be able to do the same thing. Don't do that anymore. Do the same thing here. Yep, if I refresh that now, yep. And then we'll do the same thing for the script tag script rc frame script.js. All right. All right. And that'll be basically the handle button function, the log message function. Boom. Right. So we don't need log message anymore. We don't need handle button anymore. That should just work now. Okay. And finally, can we get rid of this? Blah, 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 blah. Maybe if I can do this. If I do this. Object, object, object. If we do a make handle message prefix, right, and it returns an event handler that puts the prefix here, right. So if I do this, put that here, like that, and then make handle message will do make handle message prefix should be outer boop, boop, like that, right? Make handle message is not defined. Oh, something is not defined here. Oh, wait. Okay, here we go. Okay. And now here, we should be able to get rid of some stuff as well. Right, we can get rid of these two. And then do this with inner. Inner. Oh. Send to inner, send to outer. Sure, and then handle button. We'll do the same sort of thing here. We'll do a one sec. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. So we want to be able to handle button target. So if we say target, like we'll say if type of target equals string, target equals that target, and then we'll just do target like that, right? So then here we do want to these will be, yeah, and then we'll just here selector selector, and it's basically this type of target string, return that, else return if selector is string, return query selector, else selector. Right, and then we can do select el btn. So btn. So we can pass in either a selector string or an element. And then we'll do the same thing with this. Target. Boom. That should just work. So now these need to have little hashes, and these need little hashes. Ooh, that should still work. Selector is not defined. Select EL. Selector. Yeah. Boom. Okay. And then for the inner one, we'll basically need to do the same thing. Hash frame inner. And then the same thing, we'll do handle button test 1. And then instead of frame inner, does this have a content window? No. Right, whoops. Let's see if that works. Probably also some I need that in observer feature as well. It's yeah. If I do this and do pay, I don't think that'll work. It'll almost work, right? Yeah. So if it's directly parent, we don't want content window. So what I can do is question mark dot content window, or this maybe. So I do this, right? Boom. And read property for now, reading post message. Okay, one sec. I've gone a little bit off the deep end here. So console lock target. So we want to see what this is. We want to see what this is. Right? Make handle messages not defined. What do you mean it's not defined? Super defined. Extra brace here. So I do this, right? So. Oh, select L is null. Window.parent. How is window.parent null here? Wait, this is wrong. Window.parent is global. Target, select target, global. Be able to read name content window from window. Sure. Select EL target, select EL from window. Shouldn't this question mark take care of that, or is the question mark on the wrong side? Unexpected token. Failed to read the name property content from window. Blocked a frame origin. Property content window. Okay, wait a second. So, target equals select EL target. So, do this target 2, target 1, and then target dot content window. The question mark should protect this check. At least that's how I thought it works. So if I do this, JavaScript optional property selector. Optional chaining. Yeah, so we should have an optional chaining here. Because it's just like chaining, except instead of causing an error if reference is nullish, the expression short circuited with the return value of undefined. But why is that not happening? Why is that not happening? Question mark, full stop. It's confirmed to be non-null and non-defined. What What's the error I'm getting? Uncaught security error. So what is this called? Question mark dot dot right. JavaScript question mark dot uncaught security error. Why the heck? Okay. What if I check on post message? So I cannot do question mark full stop? No, I can. If I do it here, target post message. So if I say target dot post message, so if I do target dot post message question mark target dot content window, right? So if I do this, we get global because those, and if I do it here, we get post message, target of post message is native, target 1, target 2, target dot post message. And for the inner, we didn't have a post message, so we got that. Okay, so this should work. Right. Ah, wait, don't content dot post message. So we kind of have to do it this way. So this should always return post message. So outer, inner, outer. But this, wait, this doesn't make sense. 1 second. If I'm pressing this button, I want to send a message to target, which is window.parent. Hey. Okay. But it doesn't come back, it comes back to us. Why? If I just do target.post message and just send it like that. Whoops, like that. Right? Okay, to name properly post message. Boom. Then it goes to outer. What? Shouldn't this expression be the same as this? So if I do this, right, if I duplicate this here for a sec and I check if this is the same as this, what do I get? If I press this, I get true. And if I press this, I get false. But then why does this not work? Target.post message, and if target.post message doesn't exist, execute this. Like, what? Is it not? No, it must be on the right object here. Because content window breaks for some reason with a security thing. Here. What is it saying about the security in it? An uncaught security job is often cut in conjunction with the evaluation process security comes in ours cross the framing system. What I don't understand is why this is equal, but then when I execute on it, it doesn't seem to be equal. Okay, I think what we can, what I can do is this. We can do a target 3, and then we can do if type of target.postmatch is not equal to function, then target equals target.content window. Target equals target.content window. We have target number 3, and then we'll just do this, right? That works, and that works. Okay. It's a bit, well, it's not exactly ugly, but it'll do. Okay, so that should work from both sides now. Yeah, but what I don't understand is how it can be equivalent and then not be the same in the end. So that was weird. Like why it was firing into its own target. Okay, so now we can send to here. So we can now do this. This is much simpler. This is simpler. Don't need that. That. Okay. Now I want to see. So that one gets back an object. That one gets back an object. But we could easily also transmit strings that way. So we don't actually have to encode them, which is nice. Okay. So we want to do a restart, I guess. App.restart puzzle. Okay, so we could do something like this here, and then we can say maybe we'll do an await, and then we'll do status or message. Okay, whatever. Right? So if I do this and I say restart, okay. So now we want to register callbacks. But it should still be bound because the expression should just return the, no, you're right. Yeah, because I wasn't returning an object, I was returning the function and the function wasn't bound. Yeah, you're right. All right, so now I want to be registering event handlers as well. Now, how do I want to do this? Do I want to just generically do this generically? Like register, like literally have a registration button thing? Register or register event underscore. I mean, wait, we can do this, right? So we can say action register event, right? Something like this, and then params. I think puzzle restart, right? We can do something like this. And then here we can say case register event, except now it's not on event data, right? So if I do this now, we need another button. 6 register event. Boom. If I do this, test 6 register event. Now handle button message post message So, post message, right? If I do this, it should do this. Handle button. Register event, handle button. Register. Oh, wait, restart is not defined. Arms. Oh, event. Restart. Okay. Action, register event. Event. Restart. Cool. So now in theory, we can just say message data comes in as this. Okay. So if event dot if of event dot data string, we'll just leave this in for now for testing, right? Else we'll just say switch event dot data dot action. Do this, and we'll just say const action, comma, or just let's say handle message, handle. Let's just say this const data event. Boom. We can just do this, this, data.action. Okay. So register event, boom, boom, boom. We've got data props here, data action and event, data.event, right? So we can say register event, data.event. And then we'll have to deal with sources of events, right? So if I search for restart, restarted on restarted. If I do trigger restarted, is that the only event? Restart parcel restarted. Wait, what am I searching here? Restart. Is there no restart? I don't think so. Send message restart. No. Okay. Well, let's do it properly then. So restarted, and then we'll probably want to do, okay, this is on app or whatever. So restart it. We need to listen to restart it on restarted app. Okay, so might as well event target equals app event restarted. Oops. And then here we can say if so let's target switch, we'll probably want to do something like this up here. App framework, app puzzle, right? So let target equal app switch data dot target base app. target equals app. We'll probably want to do just something like this. Const target map. Then we can just say app maps to app, like that. Puzzle maps to puzzle, like that, right? And then we just do target map equals target map data dot target or app. And then we should be able to just say, hey, this is the target. Right, now we don't have to do any of these shenanigans. So now if I register this, target will be app. And then we just say target dot add event listener data dot event. And then we'll just say something like handle event board, something like that, right? This dot handle event forward. Cards. That event. Change this to info. Right. So now if we register the event and then we do trigger that, post message restart. No. Okay, wait. Target event data.event targeted restarted. Let's try that again. Register event restart. Post message, handle message. So target add event listener. No, on. What am I doing? So register event restart. No. Okay, what if I do app.on restarted? App.on restarted. Did I? App off restarted. Off on app on restarted. Am I doing something wrong? Restarted on restarted. Find on restarted, on restarted, on restarted. Okay. Args console.warn on restarted args. Right. So if I do this, I'll do this first and then do this. It doesn't trigger. So the on restarted event doesn't trigger. Okay, I'm misunderstanding something here. Restart puzzle. So if I do this, wait, restart. The restart event doesn't happen anymore. What did I change? Data. Post message, restart, handle message, message type, message source, yada yada yada. Data. Type. Ah, oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Register event, restart. Restart puzzle. Restart puzzle. Post message. Handle message. Handle message. Okay. Handle event forward. Handle event forward. So this dot handle event forward. Target on data.event. Let's do this again. Register event. Let's clear it this time. We do a clean restart. So we get a handle message. We're doing the restart. Handle event forward args happens. It doesn't have any args. Fair enough. And then on restarted, undefined. Okay, so then in this case, we just want to return. So we'll do this dot post message, message event. We want to create an event forwarder for this particular event. What I'm thinking about right now is how I'm gonna have to wrap it so I can remove it against later. Both. I want to trigger it and be able to listen to it. So it's not just this event, not just generically, because I want to be able to listen to any events, right? So for example, they can intercept if the user restarts the puzzle, that kind of thing. I need to pass additional information here. This dot forward event and event forward. So we just say forward event data dot event. So this becomes forward event right. Right, and then we'll do turn handle event forward args, boom, right. Turn event forward. No, we can't name it. We do this. Return args, post message, event, name. I'll just do this here, and name. So handle event data. Let's rename this to name. I always kind of mess that up. So just name, action, register event, or just listen, name. So we're looking for listen. We're looking for name, data.event. All right, forward event name, post message, just like that. So register, and we could just change that to listen now. Boom. Invalid argument, event at event listener. Okay, so when we're triggering that, we don't want to do this anymore. This forward event, which should return this. Nope. So listen. Oh, listen already breaks. Forward event. Listen. Target on. So name, target is app, name is restarted. Forward event. This dot forward event should return an event handler. Cumulative arguments to event is add listener. Type handler. This dot forward event should return a handler. Cumulative arguments to event dispatcher. Wait, what? Type string handler function. This should be type of. This should be of type string. And then this should be the handler. Right? Okay, listen. type of forward event object. What? Is it because it's async? Probably. I don't know why I made that async. Type of function. Okay, so now if I say restart, post message twice. Why do we get 2 post messages? Right, listen, restart, post message, event, name, restarted message. Okay. Oh, that's the response. We'll do restart. Okay. Okay. Event restarted. And then on the outer, message from, which is a bit of a mess at the moment. Message from, which is... I think we can just do this. Maybe we want to do JSON.stringify like that. So listen, restart. Restart OK, handle name, restarted. Okay, so restarted triggers before restart OK comes back, which is fine. So here we don't really need to post a response. We can just say restart is happening. Ooh, scared me. Hey. All right, so we're listening. We're pressing restart. Nothing happened. Restart. The restart happens. Restart puzzle. Post message restart. Handle message. Post message restart. Post message restart. Now the post message log is where exactly? Forward event, post message, handle message, event. So this dot post message doesn't happen. Okay. And the restart puzzle, we probably want to get rid of that. Forward event, handler. Handler args. Name args. Okay, so if I do this, we'll do listen and clear. Now we do restart. Forward event handler restarted undefined. Okay. So now that should send a message. Event name restarted and args. So it'll be like this. So listen, restart. Okay. Listen. Forwarded and restarted twice. Wait a second. Why is it twice? Oh, because I'm doing all this. Okay. Then restart. So I have to wait till it's ready, which might be a bit tricky. Okay. Don't need that anymore. We don't need that anymore. So that works, and it should work for any for app and puzzle in any event. Okay. So in theory, if I search, for example, act, right? So I should be able to also say, let's say listen, restart it, and then we'll do listen act, puzzle 7, right? And here we have 7, and we'll say puzzle, and we'll say act, right? We can do this. Now I get all the actions. Okay. To stop listening, though, we'll have to record these handlers. So we kind of want to say something like, and I don't want to micromanage these. So we want to say forward event. Let's just say listen event, right? Let's rename these a little bit here. Call this listen event. This dot event listeners equals that or empty object, right? Then we'll do let handler equal this. Handler. Right? And then this dot event listeners. So we want event listeners to be an object. If I assign to a property that doesn't exist, it won't bring it into existence, right? I want to make sure this is an array. So we'll just say name equals name or array, right? And then at the end we'll do push handler like that. And then here we can say console.log something like this. And now if I listen to this and this, we now have two event listeners like this. And then we can either stop listening, one or all. What we can't do is stop listening. Actually, we probably, yeah, we never want to have more than one listener actually for the same event, because we're not actually registering functions, we're just requesting to get callbacks. So I don't think I need an array here. So instead of an array, we want to make sure the listener event listeners. So we want to have an event listener per name of the event. So if this exists, so if type of this, but to be able to unregister them, we also need to track track the targets. Okay. So instead of doing it like this, we're just gonna actually do data.target. So listen event, we'll do this. Data.target. And then we'll do all of this other stuff in here. Excuse me. My nose is itching yet. Target. Target. Kind of need to do some of that in here. Right. And then we want to do something like this. Target equals target map target or app. Right. Something like that. Let's just stop all of this for now. Just make sure I didn't completely break something here. So if I do this, okay, it gives us the target. And if I do this one, it should give us the puzzle object as a target. Excuse me, my nose is itching. I'm allergic to streaming, I think. So yeah, that gets us puzzle. So we have target and we have name. Boom, boom. And now we need both. So what I'm gonna do is, so I can use target and name as key. The target should really be a string in this case, otherwise I'll struggle. Or yeah, or I have just an array and I just search through it when I remove listeners. Ba, 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 ba. You know what? I think by saying these are our targets and we're limiting to this, then we know target is always a string, right? And we can just make sure that we have a proper key here. So target if, so we're just going to say if this is undefined, if undefined equals that, throw error invalid listen target. Oop. And that'll be just JSON.by target. Right. So now we know target is going to be in target map. We'll do this, and then we'll just say if type of listeners, and then we'll just say let listener ID equals whatever target, something like this, target colon name, right? And then we can say listener ID. Hey Topes, you getting your meds? Whoa, good boy. You're getting a duck treat afterwards. 1 second, let me just adjust the lighting in the room. It's getting dark outside. Toby's getting his meds. He's a very brave boy. Oh, he's wagging his tails. Oh, he took it. Good job, Toby. Good job. Well done, Toby. Oh, what a good boy. All right, so we have a listener ID. And now we want to do if type of event listeners listener ID equals function. We need to remove ooh, wrong button. We need to remove the listener first. Log move listener here. Cool. So if I do this now, and I do this, and I do it again, it should say, it won't say remove listener because we don't have a listener yet. Okay, so the handler is going to be here. Listen event handler, target name args. And then we'll just, instead of return handler, we kind of want to do this. We want to do, and we want to do target map, target on name handler. And then this should be handler, right? So now if I press this once, it should register. If I press it again, it should now say remove listener. Okay, so when we're doing remove listener, we got to extract the target first. So so we want to do this thing, the same thing here. And the handler would be this. So we want to do this. Boom. Okay. So I do this. Okay. And if I restart now, listen event handler app. If I do it again, it only triggers once. Good. Okay. So that should remove the listener for this. It registers the event handler. We don't actually need to return it. It only exists one at a time. Okay, so now we can also remove the handler. And then we can do action, we'll say unlisten, boom. 7, 8. Unlisten all. Boom. And we'll just say like that. For now, let's just do that, right? And we don't need to do these. All right. And then here we'll go unlisten. Unlisten. I think here we just can do this. And this. And this goes like that. And we can do the same thing here. Unlisten. Well, I'm sure we'll just develop some patterns, and it'll get a bit easier. Boom. Event or data. What event? What am I doing? All right. And then we should be able to also just say console log this like this. So, for example, if we listen to this and this, and then we say unlisten all, unlisten event, unlisten, and we get these. Okay, so we should be able to just loop through all of them and remove them. So, I want to wrap this into this. Oop. So this goes here, right? So unlisten event should have an ID attached to it. So basically what I want to be able to do is either the ID has a colon in it, then it's just a specific one. If it's empty, we'll do all. So if the listeners is a function, we'll just do this, right? So if this is a function, if it exists, then we'll do let target. So we kind of want to do this target name equal listener ID. We'll do listener ID, listener ID, listener ID dot split. Boom. Right? Right. So that instead of this, we should be able to just do this dot unlisten event listener ID. All right, and then we'll just say console dot warn off, just so we know we're actually triggering it. So the first time, if I do this, unlisten happens, but no off. If I do it the second time, off happens and it breaks because target map isn't available. All right. The problem with target map is that app and puzzle might not be available here, so I cannot make it a global const thing. Target map. We'll make a function p get event target function target. We'll just say that. And then this has the target map in it in just one place. And then it's just this. Turn target map target. Oh. Right. Target. And here just let oj equals, or just target equals this dot get event target. target. Boom. And then we can just use target here. And then we'll do something similar somewhere else. So we should be able to get rid of this. Or just do that. Boom. Yeah, I guess we can just do that as well. Then we can get rid of this target map. We even need app and puzzle in here. I don't think we need any of these in here now. And we probably don't need these either. We might need app for something like get replay and framework and all that. But we shouldn't need the target app, the target map anymore, I think. So clear it. Listen. Target map is not defined because I didn't remove its use here. Listen event. So if, where will this fail? Ah, right. Let target obj equals this event target. If target obj, yeah, the reverse I think is more optimal, but I don't. It confuses me. If I do that, clear that, listen, reading app. Wait, what? Reading app. Target object dot target map. No. That. Okay. Listen. Listen again. So if I clear this, it should now remove it and reapply it. And if I unlisten, we'll figure that out in a second. Okay. So here we're just unlistening, and then here we're adding the handler. Okay. So now when we're unlistening, we'll just say unlisten event data, and we'll deal with whatever, right? So unlisten event, if I say unlisten all, what actually happens? Handle message, unlisten event, action unlisten, event listener, app, event listener app restarted. So unlisten event. So we know we can unlisten to an ID. So what do we actually want to? We want to unlisten to all. So if this is an ID, this kicks in. If it's not an ID, okay, we need to figure out what we want to. We'll say target undefined, something like that. If we say unlisten data.target. And on the listening action target puzzle name, okay. So if I now clear this again, unlisten, event list is undefined, listen ID undefined. Okay, and if I do this, unlisten does this. And if we did it from here, reading undefined. Okay. So we also want to do const event listeners is this equals this. Okay. And then we want to do that. We actually want to do that. If I do this, event listeners should be here. Okay. And then we shouldn't have to do this, and we should also do equals or delete. Boom. Like that. Okay. Event listeners. I think we also want to do get event listeners. Get event listeners. Right, and we'll basically just do this. Turn. Boom. This event listeners or that, and we assign it. So we can just do this. It's the same here. And then we can just say event listeners, yada yada. So this dot event listeners shouldn't happen anywhere else. Okay. Right, no errors. Listen, listen, unlisten all. Let's unlisten just app for a sec. Target app. Boom. So if I do this and then unlisten that, so it's that. So if this is the case, else, what else is the case? We have event listeners. We want to find object.keys event listeners, and we basically want to filter by keys that start with whatever that is. And in fact, that might be true for these as well. In fact, maybe we can just do this. We do this and not this, right? And I gotta add one, and I'll do this, and then we get something like this. But unlisten all, event listeners app restarted app. Okay, so if I do this, and then we'll say filter key, and then we'll do key dot starts with listener ID, right? And I'll do this, and I'll say that. Okay, if I do this, and then I do that. Okay, so it gets me only the app one, that's good. And if I do this, it gets me that one. It'll get me that one, okay. So we kind of want to do this. And if I do this on the first one, when there's nothing in there, it gives me an empty array, okay. So in reality, all we want to do is we filter by all keys that start with the thing. And then for each of those, we wanna do this. And then actually we'll, oops, and then this is actually our new listener ID. Or we'll just map. Just do key.split. And then now it'll just be this. And then it should just be off on these two. Target name. Right? So I do restart twice. It should say... Wait, if I say restart again... Huh? Wait. Keys off, app restarted. Okay. If I add this one, and then I say this one, keys off, app restarted. All right. And then target of listener ID. Okay, this is stupid. All right, I'm being stupid. We're just gonna do this, and then this whole function here. We don't do that. We don't do that, and we have the same thing here. And that's that. Event, get event target, target, name, event listeners, and then we'll delete that. And then we don't actually need any of that, right? So if we clear this and we'll do this, nothing. If we do this one twice, that one gets removed. If we do it again, that one gets removed. If we do this one twice, that one gets removed. And if we do this one, we have these two, only that one, and then that one gets removed. And if we do it again, we only have that one. Okay, I think that works. And then the final test is to delete both. So if I just do this, and then this would be button 9, and that'll be app, right? Test 9, right? So this one, nothing, nothing. Wait, what? Oh, unlisten app, unlisten all. If I add these two, and I say unlisten all, afterwards... Oh yeah, okay, so undefined isn't being handled correctly here yet. So listener ID... would be that, right? If I add these two, and then I say unlisten, it gets back to 0. And if I say this, we'll end up with a puzzle act. And if I do this, we'll end up with nothing. Sweet. Okay, so that all seems to work correctly. Ciao guys, have fun. Let us clean these up, make it simple. Okay, so we're just finding the event listeners. We find the IDs, pull out the targets, we remove the listeners, and then we set the event listeners item, and we remove the item from our list. Okay, and that's that. And that's the universal. So we can unlisten at every level. We do that here. Listener ID, do we need that? We need a second time here. And we need that here. I mean, I could one-line that, but not really super helpful. That's kind of constant as well. Event listeners, target object. That can also be a constant. I guess we can put these. It's not technically optimal, but really not a big deal. Right, so we have target object. In fact, let's move these to the first line. Like that. Target object. Okay. Back. I'm gonna do this. It's a little petty, but here we are. Okay, so now we can listen to any event on application and the puzzle object. We can hook and unhook. We can request the replay. Let us get a small solvable puzzle in here for testing. It's this one, right? So let's take that and put that in here. Like that. Okay. Now the event that gets triggered for that is what exactly? Trigger. So we have init, thumbs done, puzzle loading done, puzzle init, trigger open, message close, configure show dialog, close dialog, unpause, toggle setting, loaded start, progressive. There is an event for when it finishes, but I think it might be dialog. Progress loader, progress saved, start, reset, stop. Unpause, toggle setting, close dialog, show dialog. Close open message. unit. So on which, like, I'm sure I'm using it all over the place, right? So I need to figure out on which event I usually find out that a puzzle is completed. Start loaded, progress loaded, act. It's probably on act, isn't it? So if I go here, for example, right, handle act, conflict actions, check conflicts. No. Start, it might be on act, and then just checking if all right, and then just finding out if we're done. Nope. Start on act. If off on await replay done. Ah, okay, that's cool. Cool. But also not what we need. Maybe it's something like this. Handle dialog show. Ooh. Hope it's not something messy like that. Are we really not triggering specifically? I'm curious now if... Why is this twice? I'm curious now if the timer is stopped. Does that come from an event handler or does that trigger the event? Right. Timer. Where's the timer? Timer. Stop. This stuff running. So find dot stop. First start. Get no pause. And stop. Play pause. Okay. Play pause. Play pause. Play pause. You know what? I guess I'll put a log in here. Play pause. Play pause. Where does that come from? Oops. Play pause. Head down event handler. Okay. This dot play pause. Is here. All right. So I basically just want to see what did I paste something and overrode something somewhere? Oh my god! How did I break it? Jeez. Okay. I pasted play pause here. Stuff like that's so dumb. Where is it? Where is it? 1600. Here. You okay now? I moved it apparently. Okay. So clear this. Put this in here. So play pause doesn't get triggered because it wasn't. Okay. Show dialogue. Where does the show dialogue get triggered from? Show dialogue. Seriously, this is how I'm gonna have to do it. All right. Clear it all. Boom. Show dialogue. Got to be triggered. Handle act. So it's really on a handle act. Is completed check. So there's no specific event for that, huh? Ugh. Is completed check. Last is completed. Is completed check. Error is visible. Error puzzle is completed. So I guess we can do this, right? And then we can do. So we kind of want to do it here. Right. So handle button, handle, make, handle message. Make handle message. 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 All right. Let's figure out how this works. We'll do that. So if I say listen to act, and then I do this. So then we should get a handle message here somewhere. Event, act, arcs. Now the problem is it'll be a bit more tricky to actually extract all the other information from there. Because error is visible and puzzle is completed. Ooh, okay. So we probably want to listen. We want to have a synthetic event basically. So maybe we want to have a target? I'm just thinking if we have a target project 9x9, right? And then we can have an event there. I can't believe I don't actually have a puzzle completed event. What other ways am I verifying if a puzzle is completed? Puzzle is completed. If create done, puzzle is completed. Oh, I see. Pack, a puzzle completed. Future stream to puzzle completed. So it's generally using puzzle is completed, huh? Because I don't want to ping like for every action check if the puzzle is completed, right? So ideally we have like a synthetic event where we can just say on puzzle completed, right? So a listen target, and I don't want to call project 9x9 either. Target feature. Completed. I'm trying to think if there's a better way of doing that. Probably not. If I put this here, make this 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So then this will become 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? And then we'll listen to 7, 8 completed. So if I listen to completed target, so that's an invalid target feature. Great. The problem is we'll actually have to, because I'm also trying to not run any code unless this feature is in use, but I'll probably have to put this somewhere else. So we'll have some sort of trigger when we say, okay, we probably also don't want to individually send these. We'll probably just say, hey, you know, start process, and then it just automatically sends all this stuff, right? So maybe instead of like manually handling this, we'll just say, we'll just do something like init or begin, right? And then 5 would be begin, and then on the other end, when begin happens, we'll do a bunch of stuff, right? And this is not the right place anyways. So we'll want to do begin, Begin message. Right. Arcs. So we'll do begin messaging. Begging? What? Begin. Begin messaging data. So begin messaging arcs. Clear all that. Begin messaging is not a function. Begin messaging. App.begin messaging is not a function. Because it's this. Begin. So as part of begin, we'll do a bunch of things. But we also will start listening to the active end ourselves. So we want to find is completed, like other things that use that. Handle dialogue, no errors. So maybe this would be the right thing to do, because we also, I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do it, because they might want to use their own dialogue. So handle dialogue, no errors might not even pop up. But handle dialogue, no errors is one of the ways I think I discover when a puzzle, when it's completed. Maybe I would want to have... Yeah, start isn't going to be super helpful because we'll be too late. Puzzle will always have started before any of this starts. So, not sure. I'm going to deal with that. Let's handle dialogue, no errors. Handle dialogue, no errors. Boom, handle dialogue, no errors. Again. So if I do this, get a handle dialogue, no errors, right? So then we want to do a post message. Begin completed, for example, right? It's probably not what we were looking for before. Completed, yeah. Event, message event, name completed. So if I say begin, then do this. Message from name completed, right? And then we can even say replay. And we'll just do this app.get replay. Something like that, for example, right? App is not defined. Right. So the other thing then is, after we do begin, we probably want to check the current state of the puzzle. So we might want to have a is finished or something, or get state. So we probably want to do, yeah. So we want to, I have to think a little bit now, not just for testing, but kind of, so we probably don't want to have any of these. So we want to say begin on test 3. What is test 2? No, we'll do that here. We'll do begin on test 2. Like that, right? We want to get replay. Let's put that on 3. Right? So we don't need to ping. We probably want to like get a get state. Yeah, so we probably don't even want to get replay. We want to just like get state. Something like that. And in fact, I'm gonna just remove these for now. And I'm gonna remove all of these. Right? So then we have our begin. We're not gonna do the ping at all. We're gonna do a get state, and we probably want to do like a reset. Something like that. Post message. So that'll have replays. It'll have is completed, I suppose. So we'll do completed. Completed. We want to do errors. Errors. Puzzle.errors visible. Something like that. So for example, if we go here now and I say get state, it'll do all of this, but it mostly will tell me completed true, errors visible, false, replay, yada yada. Now if I do this and I say get state, errors visible, true, we still get a replay. All right, so let's clean this up a little bit. Let's do this like that. All right, I like where this is going. We still want a couple of things like restart, right? So we want to you know, we want to kind of fill something in here. We could potentially even say like for hint buttons and stuff. Just for restart. Right, boom. Get state. Errors visible false. Boom. Right. We also now want to do the handler. Handle dialog no errors completed. Handle message error visible replay. In messaging. Wait. Oh, because we haven't done begin yet. Okay. Yeah. So that gets us completed. And if I do... Okay. And we can probably, under begin, we can say, oh, you can listen to individual actions or whatever, right? Okay. So get state includes replay, so we don't need get replay. Don't need to keep that around in here. Begin we're using. The individual listening ones we'll figure out. We probably want to be able to decouple. I want to be able to insert a digit. So enter digit. Add. And digit. Good. So we have 5 and 6. And we wanna have something like this. Action digit RC 11 or R1 C1 R2 C2, and that's the bad digit. That would be the good digit. Right, and then here we're gonna say digit. Let's just do this for a sec here. Log digit data. Boom. There's a dog here on my keyboard and it's hopping around between the keys. All right. So unexpected number. Where? 32. Unexpected number. 30. Oh. Value. Boom. Nope. Candidate properties of null reading add event listener. 5, 6, 5, 5, 5, 6. Here we go. Clear. Digit bad. So we now need to resolve these. My gosh, if I remember. Parse. Parse RCval. Is that the only time I'm parsing RC values? Okay. Well, let's see if that works. Parse RCval data.rc. If I can use RCval, parse RCval, it's RC res parse RC. Wait, what? Ah, okay, no, it's an array. It doesn't give me an actual... Ah, wait, me. I'm trying to think if this can parse the value itself as well. Given. Parse RCval. RCval. So RC followed by white space? Any number of white space. Colon equal. So let's try both. Is that it? RC. RC. Okay, I think it's just colon then. Yeah, okay. So we'll do an RCV, row column value, and then would be RCV equals boom, like that. So do this, enter digit, RCV, object null is not generated. What? Where's RC value? God damn it. What does it output? Oh, RCV. Nope, RCV. 1, 2. Okay. And then to enter the digit, we'll actually look at our little bookmarklet here. Enter solution. Copy. What does that do? Okay. 1 sec. Decode your component. Right. That should give it better. So we have the solution string. Restart puzzle, which we don't need. Solution split for each app. Deselect, app select cells, app do press digits. Okay, so we want to deselect. Basically, want to do app deselect. We might want to remember the selected cells. So let cells equals app dot puzzle dot selected cells. We want to output that here. We want to output selected cells here. We want to do app.deselect, app select. We want to do get cells, I think. So we want to do framework dot get cells. No. Dot puzzle dot get cell. Nope. Dot cells dot get. Nope. Cells. Okay. Dot grid dot get cell RC. Okay. Puzzle grid dot get cell RC. Right. Get cell. So we should be able to select cell, select this like that. And then output selected cells at the very end. So we clear that and we'll do this. Selected cells is not defined. Puzzle dot. And the get cell works, okay. So these are 0 base then. No, these are, yeah, these are 0 base then. Okay. Clear. Boom. Do this. Boom. Okay. So I'm just thinking that if we want to remote control it from the outer frame, we might want to reset the user selection afterwards. So we want to do this. Then we want to do app.deselect. And then app select cells. And we'll probably want to do this to clone the array. And then afterwards do this. Right. So I should be able to click here, do this. So select the cells, or let's say if we do this, right? And then I do this. So first it's 9, then it's the 1, then it's the 9. Okay. And then finally, we want to do the do digit, press digit, whatever it was. App select app.press do press digit. And that's basically as if the users entered the digit in the end. So we will do app.doDigit v. And that should let us enter the correct digit. So if I select this one, we can do this, or we can do this. There we go. So okay, I think that's a good demo. All right, so we're gonna do restart, get state, begin, boom. Enter digit bad, enter digit good. There we go. All right, let me make these a little bit taller again. This anymore? I'm actually quite happy with this. This is a good proof of concept. And now we just kind of have to more specifically define exactly which actions we want to be able to support. So if I do this, and then we'll add, wait, how many did I add? 2. Like this 12. How's that? So I should be able to say begin. Boom. Completed. Sure. Restart. Enter digit bad. Digit good. Completed. Okay. Let's, as part of the begin thing, let's also listen to errors. Find on. Is on error not a thing? Trigger error. Trigger error. No. I mean, I guess we'd have to listen to act, and then if act causes an error, we'd have to do something about it. Currently, we're not listening to act in the begin setup here. We're listening to dialog, no errors. All right. Yeah. Well, we'll see, we'll see. I think that's a good start, and I think I'll end it here for today. Let me do a quick kind of proof of concept type situation. Again. Boom. Restart. I think this is a good... Yeah, and I think for the purpose of this demo, I'm actually just gonna remove the inner stuff. So I can just do this. Right? Don't actually need that right now. And we might make this a little bit taller. Like that. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good demo. And I think we can probably make this a little smaller. Maybe even a bit more. And we'll just do it something like this. All right, low frame rate is fine. So record, begin. Forget that. Restart. We'll do enter digit bad, digit good. Restart, get state. Stop. Save. That's not the right place. Oop. Projects. Local pod. There should be screenshots and demos. And that should be E9x9 frame demo. Let's see if that comes up. That's gotta be a big whoppy one. Alright. Here we go. How big is it? 800K. Alright, that's fine. Hey, look at that. I think that's a pretty good start. Cool. I think I'm going to call it here for the stream for today. I think it was a good stream back. I feel like I've narrowed down exactly into what I wanted to accomplish today. And I'm going to take a break. It's almost 9 o'clock in the evening for me. And we've been streaming for how long? Google doesn't tell me. Restream tell me. Restream says 2 hours. Yeah, all right. I'm happy with that. All right. Thank you very much for hanging out. Let me know if there were any issues. There were some issues with the microphone, and some settings have changed, and I haven't streamed in a while. A lot of crashes lately, but at least the stream didn't crash today.